Okay, you guys, let's do a little catching up on Tiffany Henyard. Have you guys been keeping up with what's going on with our former super mayor? Well, I ran across a court date that she had last week. Remember when there was like a discrepancy with a property that her boyfriend, quote unquote, owned, or he stole from another Thornton Township resident? Well, the FBI is still on her tail. Was Tiffany Henyard really burning financial documents at a Chicago car wash late night with her alleged boyfriend? Well, Tiffany is like toying with the law. She's toying with the FBI and the court. In my opinion, she acts like she doesn't have a care in the world. They are demanding documents, and she was recorded by someone with her boyfriend at a car wash, washing her car, like a 24-hour car wash, like one of those like handheld car washes. And there was black smoke coming from everywhere. And it's being alleged that she was burning documents or burning some sort of evidence right before her court date. So now that she is telling the court that she doesn't have these documents and she wants to submit handwritten affidavits.
You didn't go to Las Vegas?
Mm,
What is that?
no comment.
You don't know if you were in Las Vegas?
Of course I do.
Were you?
It's not paid by them.
Did you fly first class to Las Vegas?
Any other questions?
Actually, yes.
It's not looking too good for Tiffany. I kind of think they are using this to segue into the real charges. Remember the Vegas trips and all the fancy dinners and security details like presidential style? She was spending like $300,000 just on Amazon and hiring her boyfriend, Kamal Woods. You guys hear the baby in the back. She hired her boyfriend to work for her as well and put him on the payroll. And that is in question as well. They acquired lots of property in the city of Thornton during her reign as super mayor. But it was allegedly in a shady way, like stealing leases and buildings from members of the community. So the FOI, Freedom of Information Act, wants to know about the transactions, but the documents aren't there. Tiffany has allegedly hid them, burned them, thrown them away. So the Supreme Court told her to show up and bring them to the court. And guess what? She stood them up like 3 times, where finally they said that she would be held in contempt if she did not show up. But her attorneys, they're not taking it, in my opinion, serious either. Bo Brinley, her attorney in Chicago, who's well renowned, and also R. Kelly's attorney. You guys know the R&B, the disgraced R&B singer R. Kelly, who was charged in a sweeping RICO charge for doing horrible things in Chicago and lost. Well, he's representing Tiffany Henyard too. I knew when we did the video of the township brawl where everybody was fighting in the lobby. There was a guy just sitting next to Tiffany with his hands crossed. He never moved. He looked straight ahead like this is above my pay grade. And it was Bo Brinley. I saw a press conference recently for R. Kelly stating that he thought his life was in danger and someone inside was trying to off him and he wanted President Trump to pardon him. And it was Bo Brinley who was leading the press conference. Okay, back on track. Let's look at this article because Bo Brinley isn't really taking these charges serious, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Listen here. And this is from the Chicago Tribune. A Chicago suburb's former super mayor is facing yet another legal hurdle after failing to produce public records for her time in office after being held in contempt of court earlier this month. So she's already been held in contempt. In a hearing on Friday, that was last week, Tiffany's attorney, Bo Bridley, pleaded the fifth on his client's behalf after she was ordered to hand over public records from her time in office. He goes on to be quoted saying, "The smear campaign against Tiffany Henyard, which began while she was in office, continues even now that she's out of office." Then he goes on to say, "The mayor has no document that the plaintiff seeks. This matter is going to be resolved with a simple affidavit. The whole hearing is much ado about nothing." The hearing stems from a lawsuit filed by the Edgar County Watchdogs after the organization sued Henyard and the village of Dalton for failing to produce financial records after the documents were requested under the Freedom of Information Act. The documents that are allegedly up in smoke, what is she trying to hide? And do you think she'll get away with it? The article goes on to say, "We had little doubt Miss Henyard would use losing the election as an excuse not to produce the documents." So they already had her number. Invoking the Fifth Amendment for a criminal investigation was an added wrinkle. The watchdogs will keep looking for the documents even if the voters might have inadvertently thrown out the documents with the mayor. Who burned her? I don't think Tiffany really understands the scope of things, that she was the first black mayor of that town and mishandled the funds, allegedly mishandled the funds. So, as a matter of fact, let me read the article and tell you. Okay. In response to the FBI looking into Henyard's administration, village trustees voted to hire former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot to investigate the former mayor's spending. At the initial vote, supporters of Henyard's clashed with her opponents as the meeting spiraled into a screaming match between groups. They didn't want to be investigated. Lightfoot's investigation reportedly revealed the village's fund fell from its initial $5.6 million balance to a $3.6 million deficit, with the local government's credit card bills accumulating a whopping $779,000 balance in 2023. Whew, and that was like a lot of the Amazon charges. On the day Henyard lost the mayoral primary, the village of Dalton was reportedly slapped with a federal subpoena as officials demanded records tied to the land development allegedly tied to Henyard's boyfriend, and that will be Kamal Woods.
You didn't go to Las Vegas? What is that?
No comment.
You don't know if you were in Las Vegas?
Of course I do.
Were you?
It's not paid by them.
Did you fly first class to Las Vegas?
Any other questions?
And since we are speaking about the reindeer games that her attorney, Bo Brindley, is playing, let's go back to the R. Kelly thing and see how well he's doing in fighting for R. Kelly and representing R. Kelly, since we know he essentially lost that case and he's serving the rest of his life in prison. But let's see what the new motion is about. An attorney for R. Kelly is painting a picture of corruption and deceit among the ranks of the Federal Bureau of Prison staff and inmates. Bo Brindley is asking that Kelly be placed in temporary home confinement while serving his decades-long trafficking sentences. He alleges that the trio of prisons officials plotted to have the singer executed by a terminally ill member of the Aryan Brother, who, except for a brief stint when he escaped from prison, has been in federal custody since 1982. An emergency motion for that temporary furlough was filed Tuesday in federal court, and documents were obtained and reviewed by The Times. In addition, the detailing the supposed M plot, the motion alleges that Kelly's private communications while in custody were stolen from him by people working with various prosecutors who took the information and used it against the singer at trial. One witness never intended to testify against Kelly, the motion says, until she was approached by one of the people who allegedly stole the communications in prosecution. The motion alleges that 3 prison officials, including a warden and assistant warden, conspired to have Kelly executed by another inmate, Michael Glenn Stein. Stein, a self-proclaimed commissioner of the Aryan Brother, who joined the racist gang in prison, said in a declaration that an official who was not one of the wardens had previously directed him to order multiple assaults, beatings, and execution of different inmates. That official approached him in February 2023 about ending Kelly's life. Stein said he first met that official during the 13 years he spent at the federal Supermax prison in Colorado, and that the alleged victims were targeted because they had been making things rough for the BOP. Stein said he had ordered multiple assaults and M's at officials' requests and various federal prisons, and he participated in some of the attacks himself. Oh, wow. What do you guys think? After asking Stein if he knew who Kelly was, the declaration said the official told him, quote, that Kelly is a R.A. You know what that is. He told me Kelly R.A.'d little white girls. He told me Kelly was scum. He told me that Kelly was someone the Aryan would want gone. It is Kelly who poses the threat to BOP. Stein said he was transferred to North Carolina in 2023. He was in the medical unit from then until March 2025, when he finally wound up in Kelly's unit. Stein says, who says he has a terminal cancer, said he was told that once he got into Kelly's unit, he should execute the singer. He said he was told he would charge for the M, but the evidence would be mishandled. He would be charged for the M, but the evidence would be mishandled, and he wouldn't be convicted. Then Stein said he would be permitted to escape while in transit, as he had done when he escaped previously, and could live out his final months as a free man. Stein said he agreed to the deal, but changed his mind after keeping an eye on Kelly for weeks. Instead of executing him, he said, I told him the truth. I told him that I had been sent to unalive him. I told him how and by who. And I told him his life was absolutely in danger. Okay, sidebar. Is this like a bedside confession type of deal? Are you guys buying this? Stein said that the prison execution was nothing new for him, but executing Kelly to hide misconduct by the BOP, Bureau of Prisons, officers and government officials is something that just shouldn't happen. And it is going to happen if no one takes actions. He said time is of the essence for Kelly. So Kelly's attorneys, Brindley, here we go, said in his motion that his client's continued incarceration while he knows his life is in jeopardy constitutes cruel and unusual punishment, a violation of his constitutional rights. The attorney said Kelly has already been attacked by prisons in other times. In his motion, Brindley accused the U.S. Attorney's Office of knowingly conspiring to use information protected by attorney-client privilege, including information procured from one of Kelly's cellmates. The cellmate provided a declaration stating he had stolen privileged legal documents and delivered them to BOP, the Bureau of Prisons investigator, who copied them and sent them for use by prosecutors in both of Kelly's trials. So if that is true, that means they stole attorney-client privilege from his cell and copied it and sent it to the prosecution? Is that what he's saying? This conspiracy involves the Bureau of Prisons and was apparently orchestrated by the U.S. Attorney's Office. There is no room left to speculate about some way that the U.S. Attorney's Office did not know about the corrupt conduct of these cooperating persons. According to the motion, Kelly got a call from a prison official in North Carolina who warned him that a government official knew his attorneys had been meeting with the cellmate who provided the declaration. The official then advised Mr. Kelly that he was in danger and that Mr. Kelly needed to be very careful. The BOP official intimated that Mr. Kelly was not safe in custody. The official further advised that Mr. Kelly should avoid the mess hall totally. The motion alleges that Kelly was already attacked by another inmate who, after the fact, wrote a letter saying someone had put him up to it. It says Stein approached Kelly and came clean about the alleged execution plot on April 11th. So, on June 6, 2025, same year, the defense learned that a second member of the Aryan brother, who is housed at the facility, had just been approached by another official and directed to carry out the execution of Mr. Kelly and Mr. Stein, since Mr. Stein didn't go through with his order to execute Mr. Kelly. Methods of M were discussed, allegedly including mixing poison into the food at chow hall and in the commissary, like Jumpin' Java and the burgers and wings. Time is now of the essence, Brindley wrote. It is with these breathtaking facts in mind that Mr. Kelly asked the court for an extraordinary legal remedy, his release from custody. Admitting that Kelly was asking for an extraordinary remedy to his problem, the attorney cited the allegations in his motion and offered a sweeping indictment of the federal prison system. So he's saying, let my people go or there's going to be war. The circumstances set forth above are as extraordinary as they are terrifying, Brindley wrote. Incarcerated persons have no redress for protection outside of the guards that are hired to keep them safe. When the hierarchy under which those guards work has sanctioned and ordered an inmate's execution, there is no safety for that inmate in custody. The declaration of Mr. Stein shows that inmate M at the behest of prison officials is neither new nor uncommon. It happens regularly and without consequence, unfortunately. Hence, the threat to Mr. Kelly's life continues each day that no action is taken. So, as the docket turns, will Brindley be able to free R. Kelly and keep our super mayor free at the same time? We will keep up with this story. Just have to check in with you guys to see if you've heard what was going on with these things. As always, thank you for tuning in. Love you guys, and we'll see you on the next episode. The baby has made his way in here, so he's ready to podcast with me.
Bye.